All rise. Judge Vonda B. Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1032, Kirby case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Kirby, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, this gentleman, Douglas Kirby, he stopped paying child support about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Danny, he's 8 now. I want to know what is going on, and I want to know when he's going to stop paying child support, please.
Okay. So how long has it been since he paid child support?
He paid for 3 years.
Okay.
And it's been 2 years since I haven't received any.
Ms. Kirby walks into the courtroom with a clear objective: to get her child support reinstated. She explains that her ex, Douglas Kirby, paid support for the first 3 years after their son Danny was born, but stopped 2 years ago. Danny is now 8, and since then she hasn't received a single payment. Her tone is firm, she's tired of waiting and demands answers. Judge Vonda is prepared to examine the case, but Douglas quickly introduces a twist. He reveals that he's been struggling with a debilitating medical condition. Now, the court must carefully weigh the facts, ensuring a fair and responsible outcome for everyone involved.
Okay, 2 years, okay. And you said the child is 8?
Yes.
8 years, okay. All right, Mr. Kirby, is there a reason why you have not paid child support in 2 years?
Correct, Your Honor. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis about 3 years ago, and over the period of 8 months, it actually got really bad, and so I have not been able to really. I'm unemployed at the moment. I have not been able to work. I do, however, I receive disability and Social Security, and I've got the paperwork here if you need to see that.
Well, I have a copy of it up here with you, what was turned in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I see award letters. He does receive Social Security and disability.
Mr. Kirby calmly explains that he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 3 years ago. Within just 8 months, his condition worsened significantly, leaving him unable to work. He is now unemployed and relies on disability benefits and Social Security for income. Judge Vonda B. carefully reviews the medical documentation and confirms its authenticity. However, Ms. Kirby remains skeptical, accusing him of exaggerating his condition, claiming he simply wants to sleep in and play guitar all day. Judge Vonda quickly shuts down the accusation, reminding everyone that official medical records don't lie.
Well, first of all, I think he's lying. Second of all, he can work with minimal duties.
Well, what do you think he's lying about? You think he's lying about the disability? You think he's lying about the award letters that I'm looking at because they look like official documents from the state?
Okay, ma'am, it's like this. This guy is not good. Once we got married 9 years ago, I took care of him. Doesn't have a job. I made him to go back to college. I made him to get a degree. He's got a good job in IT. Okay, as soon as he got the job, okay, I don't want to be married anymore. Really? All right, you have a good job. Pay child support. Then, okay, he was paying $1,000 a month. Now I'm $1,000 a month short for 2 years.
Okay, I understand that, but you understand that he has a legitimate excuse for not paying anything, right?
Ms. Kirby vents her frustration, explaining that she supported Douglas through school and even encouraged him to pursue it. But as soon as he landed a good job, he left her. She says she feels taken advantage of. Judge Vonda B. acknowledges her feelings but firmly reminds her that frustration doesn't outweigh documented evidence. The court cannot require someone to pay child support if they are medically and legally declared unable to work. Ms. Kirby requests a reevaluation of Douglas's disability status, but Judge Vonda responds clearly, "You're welcome to pay for that, but unless new evidence is presented, the court's hands are tied."
I understand it may be frustrating, but you do understand that, right?
He cannot work in IT. He cannot just push the buttons.
Well, if he
like,
has something from a doctor saying that he cannot work. Until he gets something that actually releases him to work or he stops receiving benefits from the state, we really can't order him to pay any child support.
I think what he wants to do, he just wants to stay home, sleep until noon, whatever, then go out there, play guitar or whatever it is that he was doing before we got married. He just doesn't want any responsibilities. And I think he needs a reevaluation on his medical exam.
Okay. Well, you definitely can pay.
Ms. Kirby shifts focus to another financial burden, $300 a month for their son's health insurance, which she's been covering on her own. She argues that Douglas should help with the cost, but Judge Vonda lays out the hard truth. Douglas can't be ordered to pay for anything unless his financial situation changes. By law, child support cannot be taken from his Social Security disability benefits, and without any additional income, the court has no legal grounds to require him to contribute more, not even toward insurance. The law is clear. You can't take money from someone who simply doesn't have it.
If you want to do a reevaluation or anything like that, but he can't give you what he does not have. So I can't modify his child support or anything like that to make him pay you any more money. I just can't do that. Not when he has a legitimate reason not to be doing it.
Can you order him to pay health insurance? Because I'm paying $300 right now for the health insurance for the child.
Is that for the child only or is that
Yes,
for
ma'am,
you?
for the child only.
Okay, like I said, until he, gets some sort of clearance, some sort of W-2 paycheck stub that says he's making around the amount that he was making, I mean, you really can't do anything at this point.
Okay, fine. Even if though he receives less money now.
Ms. Kirby remains convinced that Douglas is either faking his condition or, at the very least, taking advantage of the system to avoid responsibility. She insists he's just trying to get out of paying support, but Judge Vonda firmly reminds her that the court doesn't operate on feelings. It operates on evidence. The documentation confirms Douglas's current condition and financial status. If he begins earning income again, even from part-time work, the child support order can be revisited and potentially increased. But for now, there's no legal basis to demand more. Emotions may run high, but in the courtroom, legal standards take precedence.
But he still can pay child support out of that amount, right?
Well, he can pay, it's taken out of the lesser amount, but not from his Social Security benefit. It's not going to be taken out of that.
So there's nothing I can do about it.
Not at this point, unfortunately. Do you know when, well, you probably don't know, has the doctor said anything about you being released back to work full-time or anything like that?
Nothing at the moment. It's not something I'm against. I was making good money doing IT, and
Douglas opens up with raw emotion, admitting that Ms. Kirby played a pivotal role in turning his life around. He went from being jobless to earning a college degree in IT, all because of her encouragement. Before multiple sclerosis took over, he had even started setting aside money for Danny's future. Now, he explains, he can no longer stare at screens without becoming disoriented and faces daily physical challenges. But he's not giving up. If he's ever medically cleared to work again, he promises he'll resume contributing. His voice trembles as he says, "I love our son as much as you do." For the first time, both sides fall silent.
She's right. She did push me to, go back to college and get my degree, and it worked out for quite a bit. I even set some money aside for college for Danny, But it's just at the moment I can't. And like I said, over 8 months, it just kept getting worse. There's small signs of it getting slightly better, but it's really bad right now. I can't stare at screens. The numbers get blurred within it. At the moment, I do apologize. But it's not something I can do. I would love to. I love our son as much as you do, but I mean, right now, if we're being honest, you make decent. You make a decent amount annually.
I believe he's sincere. I believe he's being very sincere.
Judge Vonda B turns to Ms. Kirby with a message rooted in balance and clarity. She acknowledges the frustration, but explains that the law follows a process. If Douglas's health improves and he returns to work, the child support order can be recalculated. Until then, the court cannot penalize him for being disabled. Ms. Kirby finally nods, not because it's the outcome she hoped for, but because she recognizes it's fair. She's reminded that child support is based on current income and ability, not past grievances or emotions. It's a hard pill to swallow, but a necessary and important.
When I can contribute, if I'm cleared, I'm more than willing to do it, Your Honor.
Yeah. It's always something. It's always some kind of excuses, Your Honor.
Well, the good thing is that if and when that time comes and he's able to make even more money, right? You understand that your child support can go up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Correct.
So in the event that happens, you can get an increase, but just nothing for today. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Judge Vonda B wraps up the case with a clear and concise summary. Disability changes everything. In this situation, Douglas provided valid documentation from both Social Security and his doctor. Without new income or medical clearance, the court cannot legally order additional child support. She emphasizes that this isn't about choosing sides, it's about evidence. Speaking directly to parents watching, she explains that support orders must reflect what someone is legally and medically able to pay. If circumstances change, bring new proof, and the court will reevaluate. But for today, the matter is settled. This case is closed.